Good evening and welcome back to Prime of Midlife. It's Wednesday evening and this evening we are talking the UK inflation rate. If you haven't seen the news, which I'll be very surprised if you haven't if you're in the UK, the UK inflation rate has not dropped as much as expected. It went up last month, surprisingly, but this month the financial gurus expected it to come down to about 9.8, come down below 10%. Unfortunately, it has not. And they're all surprised. We're not. We all know why it's not coming down that much. But seemingly the financial sector has this shock of inflation not dropping below 10%. And so now they are saying that they are 97% certain that because the inflation rate has stayed so high, that interest rates are going to go up again. They're 97% certain that the Bank of England will raise the interest rates again by 0.25%. So this is going to cause people with mortgages a bit of a problem. It's going to cause people who are looking for mortgages a bit of a problem. And the question I have is, how did they not see this? How did the financial gurus not see that the rate of inflation was not dropping the way it should? And I don't particularly have an answer for that because that's their job. They're supposed to know these things. And it's been very obvious to all of us that the cost of groceries, the cost of food, the cost of drink has not come down over the last year. In fact, some of it's more than doubled. And if they had asked normal people, just your person on the street, we'd have been able to tell them this is not coming down. In fact, prices are still rising. I remember when I first started the videos, I remember seeing butter, block butter, a block of salted butter was £1.48 in Tesco's. The last time I was in Tesco's, it was £2.15. Lidl's last Sunday was £1.99. So even if it's come down to £1.99 from £2.15, that is still 50 pence more per block. And it's not that you can make it any cheaper by buying cream, because cream's about the same price. So running the energy for the mixer, etc., doesn't help. It just makes it about the same price. So we've been watching this for a year. And I know that the reports came in today with they thought it was going to come down. Fuel prices have come down. Not up here, they haven't. I am not seeing a noticeable drop in fuel prices. They're saying energy prices have come down. Well, they may have come down a little, but they certainly haven't come back down to anywhere near where they were a year ago. So, those two main things, they're saying the prices have dropped at whatever shares level it is. It's still not reflected in the high street. And the prices of food have not gone down. So where they're expecting an inflation rate drop from, I do not know. But seemingly they were, and seemingly they're, quite surprised at this still in double digits inflation rate. Whereas you and I are going, yeah, the prices are still going up for our day-to-day things. Now, I know that because of the fuel prices going down, they're like, things will be cheaper, etc., etc. There's very little we're looking at on our day-to-day lives that has come down in price. I'm trying to think of something and I can't particularly think of something. Milk came down 10 pence for 4 pints last week. And there was a whole media frenzy about the price of 4 pints of milk coming down by 10 pence. That's about all. Bread hasn't got any cheaper. Cheese hasn't got any cheaper. You know, there's nothing out there that went up a lot that has come down a lot. And I think we're all past the stage of expecting that. However, because that's what the financial people were expecting and it hasn't done that, and obviously they didn't do the research well enough, now the mortgage rates are probably going to go up next month when the Bank of England looks at the mortgage rates, well, the interest rates. They're expecting it to go up 0.25. So although we're already struggling, if you've got a mortgage, you're probably going to be struggling more. If you are thinking of getting a mortgage, it's probably going to have to be reassessed and you might not be able to get it. And it just seems ridiculous to me. I mean, obviously the financial people are looking at the supermarkets going, well, Tesco's and Asda's, you know, they're making profit, everything's great, so it must be good. Yeah, it is if you're the top shareholders and making profit out of it. If you're the one having to buy the food or having to make the food, it's not working very well. Yeah, I'm quite sure if you ask the farmers, their diesel prices, their fertiliser prices, everything like that has not suddenly dropped in price. So how the financial people expected the inflation rate to start dropping heftily, I do not know. So yes, that's my thing about inflation. I'm not terribly impressed, I have to say. I'm not terribly impressed with the way that they're supposed to know this stuff and they just completely got it wrong. So, yeah. And the other thing I read today was that 85% of transactions were done via digital methods in 2021. So that's like cards or bank transfers. Now, understanding that was still in COVID, so the majority of transactions were done digitally. However, personally, I prefer cash, and for us trying to scrape together a living, it's much easier to keep control of your spending if you're using cash than if you're just using a card. Well, I personally think. So yeah, keep an eye out for that, because seemingly there's some of the shops in big cities are not even accepting cash now. So that would be a bit of a thing. So yeah, I am going to go and have my tea now. So I will leave you in peace. Let me know what you think, and I'll catch you later.